joining me on the special segment of Renaissance Figure. Tonight, I have Albrecht Durer with us to discuss his influential artistry.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're one of the many great artists of your time. How did your art differ from other art during this time?
Well, my self-portraits are very vivid depictions of myself throughout my lifetime.
What made your portraits stand out from other artists' portraits?
I have very prominent details in my work, such as my eyes staring at the viewer. I signed and dated my paintings very largely so all could know the work was mine.
That's so interesting. You are so talented. You must have started your artistry at a young age. When did you start your portraits?
I started at the young age of 13 while I was working in my father's goldsmith shop in Nuremberg in 1484.
That's amazing. How did your art, especially self-portraits, influence other artists at the time?
My art encouraged other artists to add more depth to their works and to add appeal to the viewer. Basically, it encouraged other artists to take their works to the next level.
Fascinating. I know that you were one of the wealthiest artists in Nuremberg. How did your economic circumstances set you apart from other artists of your time?
Well, many other successful artists were poor. In fact, some of the greatest died because of their lack of money. I just happened to be lucky to be one of the first wealthy artists.
Nice. Since you are one of the first rich artists, what impact did that have on later artists?
I showed that it is indeed possible to earn an abundance of money as the popularity of one's art increases. As a direct result, now, you see many other artists earning huge amounts of money for their works. It's such a great sight to see.
I agree. It's great to see amazing work pay off. Speaking of amazing work, you were one of the first Germans to deal with art theory. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. In 1537, I wrote a book on fortifications. My interest in fortifications came from my desire to learn more about science and engineering while using my in-depth artistic skills.
That's amazing. What was the impact of this book on fortifications, and how did it affect later artists?
Well, it was the first printed book of its kind. It planted the seed for other artist engineers like myself to make a living based off their passion for both. In my book, I also advocated for the inventions of bomb chambers, which later became the standard features of fortresses.
Well, that is just fascinating. You are definitely one of the most influential people of the Renaissance, in my opinion. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure.
See you all next week on the next segment of Renaissance Figure. Good night.